But now we are up to the tight ends. And I know a lot of you guys, After Dark lovers, love your tight ends. And we're diving in to some tight ends.
People are going to be so mad with my tight end rankings, by the way. Because like who I have at 1, no one else has at 1, but I don't care. This is who I like. Okay.
Football wife is like, yes. She's getting spicy.
Spicy.
You just, as we mentioned these guys, look them up, Google them, see how tight their ends are.
By the way,
how does that work?
Fatal Gamble, we have a Black Panther myth in Australia as well. See, there's myths of like these black cats all over places they shouldn't be. It's like chupacabra stuff, By the way, I think there's like speaking of chupacabra, side note.
Hold on to your butts.
Hold on to your butts. Literally hold on to your tight ends. Hold on to your butts. They came out with a Netflix show called Chupa, like Chupacabra, but in Spanish, if I'm not mistaken, I know a little Spanish, but I think Chupa in Spanish, like Chupacabra is like bloodsucker, but like, I think Chupa just is like sucker, which is like a strange way, I think, to name a movie.
I think you're cheaper for believing all of this.
Is this about a black cat in England, Chris?
No, this is about Chupacabra. But
no, I know the Chupa show though. That's not?
No, Chairman.
It's in England.
That is a chalupa.
Can't you get a Chupa at Taco Bell? I think so, and they're delicious. Just like everything at Taco Bell is delicious.
No, yeah.
So how you feel after the fact. When you consume Taco Bell, anyone who says Taco Bell isn't good at consumption point is a liar. They're lying.
Yeah. So, anyways, side note, but the fact that you're getting some love here on Tucker Kraft, tight end, and the Jackrabbit. He's a Jackrabbit. We don't see a lot of Jackrabbits in the draft. But South Dakota State coming in 6'5", 254, 4.69 40. We already have a couple people in chat. Love Tucker Kraft being on in this list. Says keep close, super underrated. So let's break it. Let's break it down. Let's go and let's dive into Tucker.
Now, for me, in full disclosure, the top 4 guys separate from anyone else at the tight end position, and I think that's across the board. Any rankings you'll see that the top 4 that we're going to talk about are kind of separated from that next group. Tucker started as a running back, Chris. Of course he did. Why would you ever play the position you're going to get drafted for at any point? But, inline blocker, he is going to be solid at that. You see here, good size, 254, 6'5", big boy, good hands, can run through tackles, strong at the point. Mostly ran either verticals or crossers at San Diego State. So as far as any other route tree, who knows? I don't know. I don't know if his agility. Didn't look at his 3-cone.
It's all about the 3-cone.
Yeah, gotta look at the 3-cone, Chris. Listen, when we talk about Kelsey, he's the greatest route running tight end ever, and that's why he's so good at his craft. Tucker Kraft. No big deal. Anyway, so this guy's like a solid, can be a solid. Is he going to be an elite tight end in this league? No. He can be a middle of the field stretch down. 6'5", you got great size. Even if he's covered up, you can throw to him. He's can make a play on the ball. So he's nice. He's good. I like him. I don't love him, but if you're talking maybe 3rd round,
Yeah, and I think that's where some people are targeting him as like late second, third, is late second at the absolute earliest. 27 receptions, 348 yards, 3 touchdowns. Best season came in 2021 when he had 65 catches for 773 yards and 6 touchdowns. But super raw. I think that he has a lot of talent to develop. Could be a decent second day pick for a team. But yeah, I think once we get into these top couple. That's kind of when things start separating a little bit. Chupacabra, literally goat sucker from Spanish. Chupar is to suck, and cabras, goats. goat suckers. So,
Goat
but I
suckers.
think in Spanish, the slang term of like chupa, it's like sucker, suck, like let your
Like, you
imagine
suck?
let your imagination take where you can go on a slang version of suck in Spanish. So I guess
Oh,
Following
we're going
Chris.
after dark again.
let's just put
Explain
it this way.
more.
This
I'm
is
confused.
this is a name of a family movie. Just
Oh,
on Netflix. No big deal.
lovely.
Yeah.
Did you watch it as a family?
No. We
Did you watch it as a family?
it's kind of a strange looking movie. Kraft would do better if he had Super Cooper as quarterback, says Rick. Come on, man.
Hey, Dallas is going to be looking for a tight end.
Yep.
And then you just got to have their starting quarterback get hurt. And then that connection can live in infamy forever.
Exactly. They eat chickens. Super Cooper is trending in the chat once again. All right,
Is it not?
next up on the list we have
Roger.
oops. Dalton Kincaid, tight end out of Utah. 6'4", 246, 4.740. We have a player comp to Zach Ertz on this one. So, yeah, here we go. This is a tight end where I think, a lot of people super hyped about him. What do you think, Scotty? Why is he coming in here at number 4? Some people have him a little higher on their tier list, but you have him at 4.
Yeah, I think a lot of people probably have him at 1 or 2, honestly,
Yep.
in the tight end list. So I'm not. Listen, Nick says he'll be a wide receiver. He's not an inline guy, so he's not someone you're gonna ask to block pretty much at all in the along the lines there. He's gonna be split out, but he does have, he's a really good athlete at the tight end position in this class. 6'4", 246, pretty good size, natural fluid mover. He's got the hips, Chris. He's got the hips. The
Hips don't lie.
and he has the fluid hips that he can get in and out of breaks. He's just going to be that one-trick pony. He's only going to be a pass catcher, which is not the worst thing in the world. He's a receiving threat. Played, dominated at Utah, and people are going to be really mad that I have him probably at 4. Or, well, unless you don't care. But all 4 of these, I could see any of these 4 going late first round or in the first round, to be honest. And I think all of them certainly get taken within. If all of them aren't taken by the first half of the second round, I'd kind of be surprised.
Yeah. He has, pro ready. Hold on 1 second. Am I looking at the right comp here? Yeah, Dalton. I'm like, wait a minute. I have all these profiles popped up. But yeah, Dalton Kincaid, 70 catches, 890 yards, 8 touchdowns, 2022. Skilled for a tight end, receiving wise. I think, undersized as a blocker for the NFL, which again, you're not going to have him in a lot of those situations. But dangerous receiver with quickness, route running, good hands, athleticism. So if you're looking for a guy that's pure offense that can kind of add to, the depth of maybe, a receiving core that's really, really talented, he could add some depth to that. But yeah, late first round, early second round is what I've seen some scouts have him at. But yeah, I think some people have a little bit of a concern about body type. He had from the combine weigh-ins, he didn't look as great as what they maybe would like to see, but it doesn't change the fact that he can catch the ball and he's going to be a really, really solid player from an offensive standpoint. Let's see. Side note, who landed a better body shot yesterday? Tank Davis on Ryan Garcia or Dylan Brooks on LeBron James? LeBron, he went down pretty quick.
LeBron always goes down pretty quick.
Like a bag of rocks. He just hit the floor.
Sure he got hit. I'm not even sure he got hit there.
The replay would say otherwise, but yeah. Dylan Brooks getting ejected from the game. We'll get to that when we talk about our NBA catch up. When we're talking about NBA playoffs and everything happening around the landscape of that. Also, we're going to get into some NHL hockey talk here very, very soon. So don't go anywhere. Plus, I'm going to take a pie to the face here in a little bit. So you don't want to miss that either. Nick, Ertz is a great comp.
Thank you, Nick.
Yeah. Nick's all for it here. All right, so Dalton Kincaid coming in at number 4. Number 3, we got Darnell Washington, tight end, Georgia, 6'7", 264, 464, 40. And we also have a Mercedes Lewis players comp here when it comes to what we're kind of showing what he could do. Washington recorded 28 receptions, 454 yards, 2 touchdowns, blocked really well, and would have been a starter with a much bigger role and production if he had played another school where he was not stuck behind Brock Bowers. He kind of got held up from a depth standpoint there. But when you're at Georgia, right? I mean, you have some talented dudes across the roster regardless. So excellent workout at the combine. Fast 40, putting a good showing on all the field work as well. So right here, Darnell Washington, Scotty.
Yeah, I mean, this is your athletic freak of this draft. An absolute monster, 6'7", 264, 464. This is the athletic freak. He can hurdle defender. He can run over defender. You get the ball in his hands, and he's a beast to try and bring down. Now, the problem is getting the ball in his hands. He obviously didn't have a ton of production with only 28 catches, 454 yards last year at Georgia. Great inline blocker, by the way. So different than what we just talked about. This guy will dominate as an inline blocker and overrun some people. If you want to take upside on athletic traits, this is your guy. This is absolutely your guy. As far as route running, it's clunky, Chris. I know the athleticism's there, but as far as getting in and out of breaks, you just don't see it. So he's more, not close to a diverse, polished route runner. So and I don't know if he can ever be that guy, but a great blocker, Mercedes Lewis was known, kind of as a great red zone threat. This guy can be an absolute dominant red zone threat for you at his size and physical stature. If in the red zone for you, and certainly has the highest upside. He's got the highest upside. There just wasn't a ton of production as a pass catcher at Georgia, and I would have liked to see a little more, although who I have at 1, people are going to freak out over. So it's not a big deal.
Yeah, and I think a lot of people are seeing him more as a better blocker than a pass catcher. I mean, this is kind of different from what we just saw, like an elite pass catcher. But now we're kind of shifting gears to a guy that's just an athletic freak. And that with that athleticism, if you could get the handles on producing big numbers from a passing game on top of it, you're 100% right. He has so much upside, probably more of any upside in this class, in this draft. I mean, potentially across multiple positions. I mean, he's a very high upside player. So it'll be interesting to see how he ends up panning out. But honestly, you're excited if you're getting this guy on your roster and seeing what he can do. I want to see him on the Pats. Let's keep close. Darnell Washington, to me, can do both, but mainly a blocking tight end, says Nick.
He's certainly better at that than he is as a pass catcher, but he can do both.
But to have that size in the blocking game, I mean, yeah. I mean, you'll take that. Wreck, Kings choked. Are you talking about? I'm assuming you're talking about the hockey.
Los Angeles Kings, who were up 3-0 after one period. Are they?
It's tied at the end of the second.
Oh,
okay.
There you go.
Yeah,
all right.
Not great.
Breaking news.
The third goal was scored with 10 seconds to go.
So, okay. Well, there you go. In a dogfight there. All right. So, Darnell Washington, number 3 out of Georgia on our draft list. Next up, Michael Mayer, tight end, Notre Dame. I think I saw Football Wife talking about him a little bit in the chat. 6'4", 249, 4.740. And we have a player comp to Rudolph. Who obviously you guys know and know a little Kyle Rudolph. He's kind of one of those names that's been around. But Michael here recorded 67 catches, 809 yards, 9 touchdowns in 2022. Some team sources say he doesn't have a lot of great size and is not especially athletic for a receiving tight end, but is a natural receiver. So, Scotty, go ahead, dive in on what you see in Mayer here at number 2 on our list and why he lands here.
Yeah, I think on most lists you'd find he's probably number 1, and most mocks you'll see him coming off somewhere in the 20s. I've seen him mocked to like Dallas a ton, Football Wife, maybe Cincinnati, who's now maybe needs a tight end, but he's solid. He's very solid to above average at everything. He's an inline blocker. He's a pretty good route runner. He's better at separating than the freak athlete before him. Can do it all. Good pass catcher, good hands. Can break a tackle or two. I like him a lot. Is he a dynamic athlete that like, along with all these traits, equals like surefire great tight end? No, like the athleticism is okay. I mean, he's a solid athlete. He's just not spectacular at anything on film. He's just really, really solid.
He's got a high floor,
above average, very high floor, very high floor. He will be a starting tight end in this league for a long time. There's no doubt about it. Does he have the ability to be an elite, catcher of the ball and pass catching tight end along with that inline blocking? I don't know. We'll see. And part of that's, falling into the right system and right quarterback and where they'll, play to his strengths and his traits. So we'll see where he gets drafted. But some of those spots like Cincy or like Dallas make a lot of sense. I think Dallas makes a ton of sense because I think that, they haven't really had Dalton Schultz, who they just lost in free agency. By the way, is Dalton Schultz signed anywhere? Did I miss that?
I don't know.
Did I miss that?
I heard he got signed, but let me make sure.
Did I miss who signed Dalton Schultz?
Dalton Schultz.
Give me a quick second. It's your free agency
Current
tracker.
team, Houston Texans.
Oh,
Why would he go to Houston?
dollars and cents.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
doesn't make much sense.
Well,
Well,
I meant the other sense, but yes. Yeah, I didn't know. I guess I forgot. I forgot where Dalton Schultz. I knew, he wasn't with Dallas anymore. So anyway, this guy can be an inline blocker. Mike McCarthy's now going to be calling plays for Dallas. They're going to want to run the ball, according to him, a lot. I disagree with McCarthy's philosophy in a lot of ways, but that's what he's going to want to do.
I'll be
And
passing what Super
to
Cooper
get a tight
started.
end. Oh my gosh. Why do I even talk about the Cowboys? It just gets into Super Cooper now. Anyway, he could be a fit there. So I expect him to go in the first round, somewhere in the 20 range, and potentially be the first tight end off the board. He's going to be probably taken before my number 1 tight end, and I don't care.
hey, there you go. I've seen a lot of this dude. He's skilled with a big knife and good at catching teenagers that trip a lot when they're trying to run from him. No. Am I missing out on a storyline there? Am I missing? Is that
Even I get the reference. Come on.
I wasn't even listening. I was looking at something. What reference?
he's skilled with a big knife? Where are we at? He's skilled with a big knife. good catch.
Michael Myers.
Oh.
It's a horror film reference. There, Chris.
Oh, gotcha. All right.
But
fair
you called him Mayor, so maybe you were confused.
enough. Yeah, maybe that was where I fell off.
I think he was also a good actor back in the day.
I'll show myself out. Joker, 2 threes in a row. Nuggets pulling away here. Nuggets 64-55 to come out of the gates in this third quarter.
Go.
And all of a sudden, I'm telling you, Yoke, he's going to have like 40 tonight. 23 points and 9 rebounds. He's scoring mode tonight. Let's go. I love it. I think they might have been that British Black Panther, Scott. Yep.
You're right. You're
Yeah.
right.
Exactly. Let's see. Number 1 on our draft list. Ooh, you got Luke Musgrave, tight end, Oregon State, Scotty. 6'6", 253, 4'6", 140. You got a player comp to Mike Gesicki here. And all right, we got a beaver. We got a beaver here live in the Action Lab. Scotty, go ahead. Let's break it down.
Keep close is like WTF. Guys, I think this guy is going to be the best tight end from this class. Listen, I like you look at him on tape. He explodes off the line. He's got an incredible athleticism. He's very fluid in his routes, great hands, makes the tough catches. He's obviously had some injury issues. So, got hurt last year, only played in a few games, but was playing really well in those games. I comped him to Mike Gesicki, Chris. I was very, very close to, but I didn't want to put this on him. I didn't want to put.
Are you going to put Kelsey?
This type of. I mean, he is the most like Kelsey I've seen from a tight end in quite a while coming into the draft. I think his athleticism and his ability, and listen, Kelsey had some question marks, some injuries, some character stuff that let Kelsey drop to. I think the Chiefs got him in the 3rd or 4th round. I can't remember for sure. Probably should know that, but can't remember off the top of my head. I know it was 3rd or 4th. Anyway, so listen, no one else has him the 1st overall. A lot of people probably have him the 4th overall tight end in this draft. But what I see on tape, is he a great inline blocker? No, he's probably better than people give him credit for. But he's not going to overpower a guy blocking on, in the run game. He's mostly going to be a guy that just gets in the way and kind of holds his ground to the best of his ability. It's a little hit or miss there, but as far as a pass catching weapon at the tight end spot, 6'6", 253, 461, everything is there. I think he's got the hips, Chris. He's got the hips.
Hips don't lie.
I like this dude a lot.
Roger.
I don't care what y'all say. I like him.
A lot of folks in the chat trying to figure out what's happening here. LMAO, it's the Pac-12. He belongs in the transfer portal to move up to the ACC. Kelsey will be on SNL coming up. I think he was already on there.
He already was, yes.
Yeah, he was already on there. Luke Musgrave, I like it. Injury does hurt, but he can be receiving tight end better than Meyer and Washington.
I think so.
Hold on. A hit or miss blocker in the Pac-12 is your number one? I mean,
I don't care. First of all, why do you hate the Pac-12 so much, Keep Close? But then you love the Big 12 defense with your boy D, as if they play a league of defense of the Big 12. Okay. Anyway, listen, what I see on tape, I like him as an athletic profile. And I think if he stayed healthy last year and played a full season, I think he'd be the number one tight end off the board. No question.
I mean, his best season, he caught 22 passes, 304 yards, and 1 touchdown in 10 games. I mean, he's a former competitive slalom skier, all-league lacrosse player, track standout from long jump, triple jump. So, I mean, he's an athlete overall. I mean, athleticism is not this guy's issue. He's got good footwork. He's got a pro-ready frame. He's got a little bit of what you would want in a guy that's like, kind of under the radar, right? You're taking a guy that, you haven't seen a lot of, knowing that, you might be seeing something that a lot of people aren't, and he could end up panning out to be a pretty solid pick for whoever ends up getting him. So, you got to keep that in mind. But, I mean, stretching the field is not an issue for what he can do and what he could bring to a team.
I'll say this. I would not hate the Chiefs getting him at 31. It probably won't happen, and they probably won't go tight end spot, but Kelsey's getting obviously up there, and I would not hate that pick at all.
Because right now there's I think some projected round picks. I mean, what's the second pick for the Chiefs in the second round?
Well, it's at the end, Chris. That's what being a Super Bowl champion does.
Well, I didn't know if they had another that they accumulated over time that they were in.
They had not until the 3rd round, but they also they had 2 3rd rounds, but they traded one away for Kadarius Toney. But anyway, they're at the end of the second.
So yeah, he probably won't last all the way down.
Make it to there.
No. So, I mean, there might be a stretch at the end of the 1st round, but hey, I mean, who knows? Who knows what he could turn into? But hey, there you go. Luke Musgrave comes in at number 1 here. I'll keep Musgrave 1, move Kincaid to 2, Mayer to 3, Washington 4. Says
That's
Nick.
fair.
That's fair.
That's fair. I'll be back. I'm doing a code yellow.
Spam code yellow in the chat. We are going to be covering everything you need to know about the NFL draft. We might be doing a mock draft on Wednesday, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. So kind of back and forth, picking for each team on what we think is going to happen in the draft. And then we will be covering the draft live on Thursday. So Thursday night, we are going on slightly earlier when the draft kicks off. We're going to have draft coverage top to bottom. We're going to be doing all the player picks. We're going to have the ticker. We're going to have the sound effects. We're going to have all of the videos that, some highlight videos and reels. I'm going to be running it all on my own, and we're going to be, trying to put it all together in preparation for this coming Thursday. So, guys, you're not going to find another stream out there that's covering the NFL draft like we are. We've have all the player profiles up on our YouTube page, so make sure you join in and follow our YouTube page so that you know all of the other player profiles that we've put out there already. Quarterbacks, wide receivers, linemen, you name it. It's all on YouTube, so go check that out. Exclamation point socials in the chat is where you can find those. There you go. Go check out those videos. Go leave a comment on what you think we did, your thoughts on those other groups that we have. So that's another way to go about it. Also, Discord. Join our Discord so we can chat through everything when it comes to NBA playoffs, NHL playoffs, you name it. We got it covered here in the Action Lab. We just don't, we do a little bit of everything here. Just so you guys, can have all of your coverage of all your sports talk, and we have fun doing it too. So, we talk a little bit conspiracy theories. We talk about food, i.e. pie, which is I'm going to get pied in the face here in a little bit. So there's that too. But yeah, guys, we have a lot of fun here. Hit that follow button if you have not already. It means the world, and we want to have you as part of our community moving forward. Hit that follow button, please, please, please. So there you go. Scotty, we're going to have a little bit more draft coverage coming up on Wednesday, but
Yeah.
we
Do
have
a little mock draft
we have
action,
put
right?
yeah, I think so. I think that's the plan. But we've put a little bow on every single position. Now, top to bottom, what position overall are you most excited about going into the draft? Like what position? I mean, obviously quarterback is going to
quarterbacks
influence
are gonna,
a
there's
lot.
gonna be 4 taken, potentially 5 in the first round.
There's no way Hookett goes round 1.
Never overestimate someone's eagerness to try and find a franchise quarterback in desperation. I would not take Hooker in the first round. I agree, but I'm not saying it's impossible. Likely 4 guys go, the top 4 go in the first round. But
Yeah.
outside of that, I'm excited about this tight end group. I really, really am. I think this is the best tight end group as far as like those 4 guys being contributors. I don't know. Corner is nice. Corner is going to be nice. I think there's some decent. I think the defensive line and the edge rushers are pretty nice as well.
O-line.
One of my favorite bets, Chris, I've already made, is I think there's going to be I'm not a first round running back guy, but I think there's going to be at least 2 running backs, probably 2 running backs taken in the first round of this draft. And I got like 3 or 4 to 1 odds on over 1.5, which I love because Robinson and Gibbs are both going first round.
Jameer Gibbs is not going first round.
Yes, he is. Yes, he is.
What team
Yes,
is
he
dumb
is.
enough to take him round 1?
Someone that likes an Alvin Kamara clone? Maybe that. Maybe that team?
They can find an Alvin Kamara clone in the 3rd round when the
Can
Saints
you?
found Kamara.
Can you?
Yeah. As long as you have a good offensive line.
Well, we're going to be playing some bingo, and maybe we add that in. Maybe we add 2 running backs in the first round as one of our bingo squares. We're gonna probably have some maybe other Georgia's well represented, over under on Georgia players in the first round. We're gonna have a lot of fun things. Speaking of Georgia, I'm gonna be curious to see what ends up happening with Jalen Carter with all the issues that he was dealing with off the field and how that ends up panning out. Who's gonna be the team that took them off their board and then all of a sudden ends up drafting him early on in this draft? I think there's going to be some fun things with that because that's going to be interesting. But there's some interesting players that we've covered here that I can't wait to see who ends up taking him. Browns better get
Oh, by
one
the-
of these tight ends if they don't get picked.
All
Oh,
of
by
a
the
sudden-
way, did y'all hear about Kalijah Cansey?
No.
No.
He didn't get a single top 30 visit.
I mean,
Bummer.
bummer.
So don't expect him to go in the first round.
I don't.
You know what's wild is like in betting markets now, Will Anderson's not even the first defensive end to go now. Tyree Wilson at Texas Tech is like the odds-on
Oh,
favorite,
yeah.
which is kind of wild to me.
Yeah, like his stock also jumped up. Like him and Will Levis are now some of the favorites for the number 2 overall pick.
Yep.
I
So
don't know why.
Yeah, it seems a little off to me. Will Anderson coming into the season, and maybe he didn't have quite the season everyone expected, but he was the single greatest defensive player we've seen since like I don't know when. I mean, at the edge, like everyone loved him and his ability, and now all of a sudden, a guy that wasn't like wildly productive with Tyree Wilson is now the number 1 edge.